Midwest Tire and Auto Sports Desk. News Watch 12 Sports with Jake Garcia.
Welcome into sports. Tonight I'm joined by the Crater head boys basketball coach Chris Schmerbach, fresh off a dominant win over Putnam last night and now into the state tournament for the second year in a row. Coach, based on what I saw, probably the most complete performance I've seen out of the group this year. Your thoughts on how the team played last night?
Yeah, it was really impressive to be able to kind of go through some of the adversity that we've had this year, both with injuries and just growing up as young men, the day-to-day things, learning how to practice right, learning how to take care of yourself as a young athlete. It was just nice to see our group focus in and put a really most important game of the season to come out and play the way they did was pretty impressive.
Sophomore Nate Bittle last night had a double-double, almost turned into a quadruple-double, kind of like my order at In-N-Out. But your best player, your most talented player, what does it mean to the team when in your most important game of the season he steps up and plays like he did last night?
Well, it's big because he does a lot of things for us on both ends of the floor. You know, he's an anchor on the defensive end. You know, he controls the paint. He establishes a presence in there. And then the offensive end, you know, not only do we count on him to score, but he's a distributor. He's a ball handler. He's a big voice and does a ton of stuff for our team. So for Nate to be able to put that performance in that environment with those lights on was just an exceptional. He's an exceptional talent, and every day he's starting to figure it out a little bit more. He's starting to grow a little bit more, both physically and mentally, and he's able to just improve each day. So we have expectations for him to do those things. We're looking forward to seeing him continue to grow and see more performances like that.
It's only one game, but it's one game against a team not in your league.
Yeah.
And as you now start to look at the state tournament, how important will that be for you guys, having the experience against such a loaded, such a talented league already under your belt?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, if you know, from my experience as a coach, you know, I played and coached in other leagues where the leagues have been really tough, and if you can kind of survive the season and not let it get you, because it can go the other way too. If you play in a really tough league, it can get you down. But if you can kind of survive it and you can grind, you can improve from it. In the postseason, when you get there, you're not afraid of anyone, and you've been there and you've done that and you've been in those experiences, so it can pay big dividends. And you saw it last year with our league, getting 3 of the final 4 teams at the state tournament, and then this year, you know, we have again, we're going to have a good chance of getting 4 or 5 teams there also.
You make such an impressive run last year, tied for the longest finish in school history.
Yeah.
How much of a factor does that play this year as you're looking at this state tournament? There are obviously some new faces, some faces that were there from last year. Do you think that's something that drives them?
Well, I think, you know, it's part of the culture, and some of our main guys that were there were a big factor last year. And you know, after we finished, you know, we stuck around, we watched the state tournament, and we watched Thurston win it, and to see them go through that experience and just kind of see both ends of it, that, you know, hey, this is what it can look like. So I think last year's journey was last year's team, and this year's team has its own journey, and there's a lot of differences between the two teams.
Crater head coach Chris Schmerbach, the Comets, their quarterfinal game will be this Wednesday. Coach, good luck in that game and beyond, and thanks so much for joining us today in studio.
Thank you.